We all have dreams, and those dreams usually include a house. For some of us, it's a big fancy house full of expensive stuff and plenty of room for our guests. For others, a secluded and small quiet place is more than enough. And when it comes to rich people, they usually spend a lot of their money on getting the best possible home, even if they don't spend a lot of time there. Have you ever wondered where rich people live? Or how much did it cost them to make the house of their dreams? In today's video, we'll be looking at the houses of 15 rich Americans. Our first entry is Sting's penthouse. Well, Sting actually isn't American, but he did have an American property that's worth mentioning. Sting's penthouse in New York City's West Central Park at a price tag of $50 million. The place is 5,417 square feet, which is a bit small compared to other homes on this list though. I mean, property in New York is quite expensive, so you can expect small spaces to be pricey. However, what this penthouse has is an exclusive terrace that faces the famous Central Park. This view can be enjoyed from many of the rooms that have wide floor-to-ceiling windows. This penthouse also has a fireplace, a lap pool, a steam room, and a private restaurant. But this penthouse doesn't belong to Sting anymore. He actually sold it to a mystery buyer in 2018. Our next entry is Cindy Crawford's beach house. The 55-year-old model was one of the most popular Americans in the 80s and 90s. While she doesn't do modeling anymore, she still has a fortune that's worth more than $400 million. And with all that money, she was able to build a home in Malibu, California. The place cost her $50 million, and it's a beachfront property. It's got 4 bedrooms, a nice courtyard, and a layout that mimics that of a Spanish hacienda. And even though the home is by the beach, there's also a pool for guests to decide whether they want to swim in the ocean or enjoy the privacy of their space. Our next entry is Howard Stern's Palm Beach home. At 67 years old, Howard Stern has accomplished a lot of things. He first became famous by working on the radio, and eventually went on to work in film and television as well. Today, the guy is an absolute legend, and you might know him as one of the judges in America's Got Talent. His net worth is around $650 million, and he has a home overlooking the Atlantic Ocean in Palm Beach, Florida. The property sits on 3.25 acres of land, which is like 3 times the size of a football field. And the place also has 12 bedrooms, but Howard has been renovating them for the last couple of years. We don't know much about the property, but we can see that he has a pool, and someone said that he installed a 1,000 square foot closet for his wife. Our next entry is Tiger Woods' Cozy Island home. Tiger Woods designed this home with his ex-wife. I mean, they designed it when they were married, of course, and the place does have everything that an athlete can dream of. It has a running track, a diving pool, a basketball court, a tennis court, and a swimming pool. And they also have a boathouse and a spa. With so many amenities, you could think that they have many rooms for a lot of visitors. But they actually only have 4 bedrooms, which seems to be more than enough for a small family. The place is valued at $54.5 million, and it has a glass elevator that allows people to enjoy the ocean views from this secluded location in Jupiter Island, Florida. Our next entry is Tom Cruise's mountain home. The star of Mission Impossible has a home in the mountains of Colorado. The place has huge floor-to-ceiling windows that offer some of the best panoramic views in the area. The walls and ceiling are covered with cedar timbers, and there's also a fireplace made with native stone. That actually seems pretty appropriate for a mountain home. In this massive property, you can find a gym, a library, and a rec room. And if you step outside, you can enjoy the tennis, basketball, and hockey courts. He also has a motocross track, which shows that he loves to stay active. And he can have quite a few visitors without having to worry about privacy. Outside his home, he has a 3-bedroom guest house with its own 3 bathrooms. Our next entry is Jay-Z and Beyonce's Bel Air mansion. This power couple has a 30,000 square meter house in Bel Air with enough space for 8 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. This luxurious property has its own entertainment building and a garage big enough for 15 cars. The couple and their family also like to stay active and practice sports, so they have a basketball court and 4 swimming pools because for some reason having just one pool wasn't enough. The house also has its own helipad and bulletproof windows, even though they're technically safe from criminal activity since this home is in one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in the US. They only paid about $88 million for this house, but the original price tag was well above the $130 million mark. You see, even rich people like to bargain when they can. Our next entry is the Skywalker Ranch. It shouldn't surprise us that the man who created the Star Wars universe is one of the richest people in the US. What started as a promising film in the late 70s became a franchise that is now owned by Disney. Before Star Wars hit the screens, George Lucas was already quite famous and had enough money to buy this huge property in Marin County, California. He paid $100 million for it, and aside from that, it's kinda hard to get more info about what's inside this place. You need to get a special invitation and you're not allowed to take pictures. According to some people, there are plenty of structures in this place, and there's even a 300-seat theater and a 2-story library. There's also an outdoor pool and underground parking for 200 cars, and there's a fire station inside the property as well. You know, in case there's an accident. George Lucas can live here for months without having the need to go out to the real world. Apparently, he has everything he needs inside this place. Our next entry is George Clooney's Villa. Yet another George with yet another $100 million property. George Clooney, while as an American actor, chose to buy a home along the shores of Lake Como in Italy. It's a villa that combines tradition and modern taste. While the ornaments, the ceilings, and the tiles are reminiscent of the 18th century, the place is full of modern facilities such as a gym, a spa, and even a pizza place. When George bought this place in 2001, it was only worth $13.5 million. Nowadays, however, the place is worth $100 million. Some people say that George is considering selling this villa, but I honestly think he should keep it. Lake Como seems beautiful, and I don't think you can find many homes like this one around the world. Our next entry is Michael Bloomberg's townhouse. The mayor of New York City is supposed to live in Gracie Mansion in the Yorkville neighborhood of Manhattan. But when Michael Bloomberg was in charge, he decided to live in his townhouse on 79th Street. It's a 5-story building with a limestone exterior, and he plans to turn it into a full-on mansion. Bloomberg has been buying other properties around the area, and originally there were 6 townhouse units on the same street. He now owns 5 of them, and once he gets the 6th one, he'll be the owner of the full building and his dreams of having a mansion will become true. Our next entry is the Ellison Estate. The design of this place is inspired by a Japanese garden. It has a man-made lake, a koi pond, a tea house, and a bathhouse. Larry also has properties in Rhode Island and in Kyoto, Japan. He's also the owner of entire neighborhoods in Malibu and Lake Tahoe. Our next entry is Mark Zuckerberg's Palo Alto home. The entrepreneur and co-founder of Facebook bought his first home in Palo Alto, California for only $7 million. The place has a saltwater pool, a sunroom, 5 bedrooms, and 5 bathrooms. Apparently, this billionaire doesn't care much about luxurious stuff. All he wants is to have privacy. That's why he spent $43.8 million to buy the houses around him. At some point, he tried to demolish them and reconstruct them, but this proposal was not fully embraced. Our next entry is Warren Buffett's humble home. Warren Buffett is considered one of the most successful investors in the world, and one of his first investments was this corner house in Omaha, Nebraska. It cost him $31,500 when he bought it in the year 1958. Now that Buffett is one of the wealthiest people alive, he's expanded this 1921 home and slowly turned it into a luxurious mansion that is now worth more than $650,000. He says it's the 3rd best investment he's ever made in his life. Our next entry is Jeff Bezos' Lake House. When you hear the name Jeff Bezos, you probably think of Amazon. Over the last couple of years, Bezos became one of the wealthiest Americans thanks to his company that allows all of us to order whatever we want, whenever we want it. But before Amazon, Jeff was a renowned landowner. He bought a lot of properties, and one of the homes is in Medina, Washington. He has a boathouse and his own private shoreline, but he also has homes in New York and a Spanish-style mansion in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in LA. Now it's time for the day's best pick. The picture I chose for the day shows the face of one of the most popular talk show hosts in America, and probably the whole world. We all know about Oprah Winfrey and how she loves to give away free stuff. With a net worth of $2.6 billion, she has one of the most expensive homes in America as well. Let's check it out with Oprah's Promised Land. Yes, that's actually what they call Oprah's property in Montecito, California. The main house has 6 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms, and it also has a gourmet kitchen with a wine cellar, its own theater, and many terraces to enjoy the nice views. The Promised Land also has plenty of room for horses and other animals as well. There's a fancy stable and a farm and a horse trainer's house. If that all wasn't enough, there's also a man-made lake for fishing and lots of avocado trees. If Oprah has visitors, you can have them stay at the guest house, which has its own private pool. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Our last entry for the day is Bill Gates' house. While he's no longer the richest person in the world, Bill Gates still has one of the most impressive homes that anyone could ever dream of. And it's also in Medina, Washington, the same place where Jeff Bezos had his lake house. Bill's home is called Xanadu 2.0. It's a 66,000 square foot mansion and it offers amazing views of Lake Washington. Some of its most amazing facilities include a swimming pool with an underwater sound system, a gym, a dining hall, a movie theater, and 6 different kitchens. It does make you wonder though, how much time do these rich people spend at these homes anyway? Now, what does your dream house look like? Which of these homes do you like the most? Let us know in the comment section down below. With all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.